Hello and welcome back to Blasters and Boomsticks with your host Grant and Dan. Hi Dan.
Hey, all.
How are we today?
That beat yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. And today we're going to be reviewing The Power.
The power.
Yes, I have the power, unfortunately. So for you guys who've not heard or seen this film, it's set in 1973 Britain. A young nurse is forced to work the night shift in a crumbling hospital as striking miners switch off the power across Britain. Inside the walls lurks a terrifying presence. Dot, dot, dot. So, Dan, I think this is like been released a week and a half ago. It's a Shudder exclusive.
Shudder exclusive, yes.
Yeah. Directed by Karina Faith, starring Rose Williams. Initial thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but it's definitely a flawed film. It's got a great premise. It's a great setup. Brilliant lead actress.
She was superb.
She was fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and she really does hold her own, and she captures her performance is completely central to the plot of the story, and you're with her more or less the entire runtime of the film, and she does does keep you interested. I just feel that it was treading very very similar waters to what we've seen before. I think it did too much. Nothing was overly inventive, but I still enjoyed it.
It's like the Stir Echoes effect. I think since that film came out late '90s, we've always had that kind of storyline.
Yes,
that a supernatural like vengeance, quest for justice.
Yeah.
I think one of my biggest problems is the entire film is spoken about the dark, and and when it starts off first, and you're quite, oh god, it throws you into it. This young girl's, bless her, she gets, it's her first day working in the hospital, and the matron's a bit of a bitch, to be honest. And everyone seems to bully her, and she's obviously not had a great past. And then she's told she has to work the night shift, and she's got like a little oil lamp or whatever it is, and that's it. And it's these, because obviously the mining strike where they did save power, so it's pure darkness, and I just think it wastes the opportunity to. We're told how much she's scared of the dark, and which obviously we find out a lot later in the film. But we get these really haunting images of these corridors like covered in black, and then nothing inventive really happens. I think, like, a little bit of spoilers here, but not a lot. Like she's almost doing her first lot of rounds, and then she's like, you see like, like the, I forgot what it's called, what they wear on the back, not a cape, but it looks like one. And it's like we see it in all its glory. We see it, someone pull it and like pull her back, and then like soon after she's walking, I think, with a candle, and it's probably one of the creepiest moments, but it happens so quickly, where she's walking and it's like somebody's there and blows out the candle in her face. So we see everything laid in front of us, and then that's probably like a couple of the highlights. We get nothing else inventive or anything.
Yeah, I think they sort of overly rely on sort of a relationship with or previous relationship with one of the other nurses, who bullied her sort of at school, and how she's trying to Val, the main character, is trying to better her position. She genuinely seems to want to help people. Honestly, whereas the other nurses are basically, the other main character, she quite happily turns around and says that she's there to essentially meet a doctor. So she's sort of painting a bit of a shitty portrait of herself. But also it seems to have got it. So she's got these little character traits. You've got sort of like, was it Neville, the janitor? Who's just weird and creepy, but in a stereotypical way. It doesn't sort of do much with him. And I feel like for a central performance as good as hers, and there's certain things when there are moments of possession where
Yeah.
she does it incredibly well. There's a part where it looks like she's having a seizure, and she just again she does these little elements incredibly well. She looks like she's suffering, and she looks terrified when she needs to look terrified. But like you said, they don't utilize its greatest asset. It's the dark. You're quite right. It's the
Yeah.
thing that we all fear. It's in our subconscious. It's, we grow up being afraid of it, and they just don't utilize it enough.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you touched upon it there. I think like the main character, she's absolutely fantastic, and we get to spend obviously the entire film with her. But some of the other characters, they're so one-dimensional. Like, look at this girl who wants to meet a doctor, but let's face it, she's a bit of a bitch. Look at this guy. He's got pictures of other nurses and some women from like a porno mag. Oh, he must be really evil.
Yeah.
It's like a very childlike view of good and evil, or there's no grey, as there is some, and that's why. And for a main character to be quite ambiguous with what she's done in her past and what she hasn't done, and it doesn't lay it all on the line, which is good as well.
Yep.
I really enjoyed that about it. To then be surrounded with these cardboard cutouts almost, I think it's really poor actually. So yeah, props to Shakira Rahman, who plays the little girl who befriends Val, the main character. She was absolutely brilliant by not saying that much. And obviously, there's a language barrier between the characters, which I think helps. But yeah, again, everybody else was just kind of, and there's one awful shot. I don't know if it was just me, so please tell me, where one of the nurses is trying to escape, and she starts to climb out of the window.
Yeah.
Falls, and then the next minute, and it's almost like it's comedically cut, like she's just on the floor. It happens too quickly. There's no sound effect. It's just it's pretty some pretty poor moments in there as well. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if you'd have told me that this film was like made like early 2000s and has been kept in a vault somewhere and released today.
Yeah, I feel like as well the sort of the villain of the piece, if you can really call it that, and it's sort of we mentioned spoilers now because I think you have to. But one of the doctors, I won't say which one for anyone, just so we don't ruin that side. But one of the doctors who has been abusing sort of patients becomes almost, because you meet a couple of doctors and it sort of like layers. It doesn't, it peppers it a little bit. I mean, me and my partner picked up on it straight away, and as soon as we saw this character, went, I bet it's that person. And as soon as it happened, went from being portrayed in a different light to when he was discovered, almost became a mustache twirling villain.
Yeah,
he almost became this whole, his manager, rather than just continuing to be, rather than just accepting that people who abuse other people are people, and they are monsters in what they do, but they don't all of a sudden, when they do these horrible things, don't all of a sudden become Dick Dastardly.
Exactly.
They remain, because that's it. The mask doesn't slip, and I think this is the thing that it's so stereo. It's such a trope to suddenly have someone change the tone of voice and start look down a little bit and then look up towards the camera, so their eye lines, their brow is lower than their eye line, and have all this, and then have them talk in a different way. And I just feel that was a problem for me, because I just thought, like, he's quite a cocky character when it all comes out. Why, to me, it would have been creepy if he kept his manner.
And I also think as well, like you said, the people. So, like, if he'd have tried to, if he genuinely believed what he was doing was justified or right somehow, so there was some like manipulation in there, like, well, no, I'm not wrong, you are, kind of thing. So, but obviously, it's not going to happen in a movie like this, is it?
Now it has the Gothica effect for me. In that the ending doesn't justify the means. Whereas Gothica, and I won't obviously later it spoils out the power, but anyone who's seen Gothica, I will spoil that because it's a piece of shit. But Gothica, the end of it, Halle Berry is possessed, kills her husband with an axe because he's been abusing his patients, and gets away with it.
Yeah.
And it's like they just sort of, she wasn't doing it at that part in the film. She wasn't doing it in self-defense. She was possessed and buried an axe in the back of his head and got away with it. And it's just like, it's the logic in it that they think, in what court of law, I suppose we'll find this out in Conjuring 3, the devil made me do it, but I think, what court of law would turn around and go, oh no, don't worry about it, you can get off scot-free, it's not even manslaughter because you were possessed, and you're Halle Berry, you walk away. And this film has the same problem to me. Like, you get towards the end, you get towards the finale, and it's not as in your face as that, but it's kind of like, terrible things have happened, but don't worry, there'll be no comeuppance about it. You just go and live your life.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree, and the ending is possibly one of the most cringiest, just terribly like anticlimactic things you've ever seen, which is followed by a quick shot that fades out of the villain's face, which is just something I'd see on the Fast Show years ago, or something stupid like that. It's just so bad.
You know what gets me is when the sister, the matron who was a bitch at the start, comes round to her to Val at the end, and gives a sort of that little bit of approval. It's like every stereotypical gung-ho American action film where the hero gets the salute off the commander at the end. It's just that kind of moment where you think, like, oh, do this proper, like, straight out full-on salute. You think, just fuck off.
I know, and then you've got the shot of the what is he? Is he one of the lead hospital guys or something, or someone who allowed that? Like, he's the one who's responsible essentially for everything.
Yeah.
And he's like, the lights go out in one corridor. At the end of the corridor, we see this long shot, and he like comes out of his office, looks down there, hesitates, walks down there, and then we hear the woman scream again, Val scream. We just think, fuck off.
It didn't need it. It really, really didn't need it.
Subtlety was not this film's greatest thing, was it? Strong point at all. So, what's your final thoughts? A recommendation, or?
I'd say go. I'd go and watch it, make your mind up. But I wouldn't go out of my way to say, "Oh, I've watched The Power." You need to go out and see it. I think it's definitely if you want to fill some time, if you want to fill an hour and a half, there's other films I've quite happily watched instead.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think if it's on, like, and you've got nothing to watch, channel hop in and it's on, watch it. It's not a waste of time. It's just nothingness. It is just like being sat in the dark for an hour and a half. It's just like, there's great points. The lead actress is brilliant, so she's probably worth the price of admission alone. But just don't get your hopes up. Just take your brain out and watch it. It's everything everything in the film you've seen before, so it's probably easy viewing if you've got nothing to watch. So final thoughts are from us both. Watch it, but just don't expect a lot. Thanks guys for tuning in, listening to us, whatever you do. We'd love it if you'd give us a like, maybe share or subscribe. It's the best way. It's our payment. It's what we need to survive. So guys, till next time. It's Grant and Dan saying thank you very much and good night.